Welcome, everyone, to episode 44 of the Lifting Ugly podcast. This will be an actual episode, I think, with all things that we normally do involved. How exciting is that?
Pretty
Kind
specific.
of back to normal. You know, feeling a little better about everything. And
more spry.
everything is I've gotten some sleep.
Oh, that's new.
You know, things are settled.
Yep.
And I got to work out. So we'll talk all about all those cool things, among other fun things that have come down the pipeline. But first, we should talk about Pioneer lifting belts.
Oh.
Do you have anything to say about Pioneer lifting belts?
Oh man.
Boy howdy.
Boy howdy. You know what? You need anything supportive gear wise for the most part. They got wrist wraps. They got knee wraps. They got the best fucking belts in the game. They got adjustable levers. They got single prong. They got double prong. They got the Pioneer cut. They got their signature Pioneer lever cut. They got dog collars. They got golf club holders.
Speaking of.
Oh, you got a guest in the room?
Yeah.
Hey.
Max.
Oh, look at that puppy face. Nice.
Guest appearance.
Love that.
I just have to try not to run over her feet.
Yeah.
All right. So back to Pioneer. Okay. So dog collars, wallets.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my internet died for a second.
Regular belts.
Oh, we got all kinds of belts. I'm excited for the I want those knee sleeves and elbow sleeves because once they drop, I'm never using anything else ever again.
We will be supported head to toe
in Pioneer
as much as possible, as much coverage as we can get from Pioneer.
Absolutely.
So you too in the audience, whenever there is an audience for this, can also be supported by Pioneer by going to generalleathercraft.com. Yeah, if you guys ever decide to be supportive, you can do it at generalleathercraft.com with some quality gear from Pioneer Lifting. Also, you can go to maxbarbell.com. Maxbarbell.com, you can get singlets, shoes, you can get the other things that maybe Pioneer doesn't supply at this point in their. Although it seems like every time you turn around, Matt over there at Pioneer is adding something else to their repertoire, if you will, and just making it tough for everyone else to, they're going to just take over the market from top to bottom. But
T to B,
or B to T, if you prefer. Okay.
Sorry, my internet is choosing to be a piece of shit right now.
All right, you go to maxbarbell.com. Make sure you check out all the stuff that they have available there. Visit the show at lifting_ugly. You can search lifting ugly on any social media platforms, and make sure you go there, support there. I'm going to press more now that everything is kind of more settled in place for the Lifting Ugly Face of the Week. So anyone out there, make sure as you're doing your recording, take snapshots. Let's get those faces in. Let's get this party going. Do you? Awesome.
No, I got one of Janessa and then
one of Janessa. And who was the second one?
Oh, sorry. I got one of Janessa lifts the other day, which we'll talk about because that pull was insane. And then one of Max yesterday. Well, I'll go over the meat and all that. But he sniffed it with his mouth open.
Oh, that's fun.
So he inhaled it through his mouth. So the picture that I have it's top notch.
Okay, we'll be looking forward to that. That sounds like it would be a killer one. So make sure anyone listening, keep a lookout for those. We'll post the faces, the pulling, pressing, squatting faces that that come across the board. And if you have yours, find one that you really like, that you think is just as grimy as can be. make sure you send it our way. We'll get it out there for you.
Yeah.
Everyone likes seeing that work come to, just get out there.
Yeah, we might send a little something your way.
You never know. Speaking of sending your way, and we'll go back to this. You need your friend Pony Boy.
Oh yeah.
Have him get a hold of me so I can get an address.
Just send him to me and I'll give it to him.
Okay. I'll send him your way. At first I thought I lost him because Keenan was like, hey, can I check like the stiffness on those? I was like, yeah, let me grab him. I'm like, holy shit, I have no idea where they are because this is like kind of mid move.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, where did I put those? And they were just kind of buried in my truck. But I found them, so I have access to them. So I'll get them out to you so that way he can get his wrist straps for his wing.
Before Keenan decides to be a klepto and take them.
Yeah, and steal them. Yeah.
Hopefully he nothing, steals everything.
Hopefully he just ordered his own.
Yeah.
All right. So you went out there. You can go follow Alkai as well at bellies_out_benching and see all things Alkai and the happenings in the beach area of San Diego, as the natives call it.
San Diegoans.
The San Diegoans. The San Diego.
San Diegans.
You can check him out. You can get a hold of him for coaching. Also for coaching, you can go to liftingugly.com. You can pay online, and we'll take care of you there if you are so inclined. You can also check out the gear that is available there. We will be going over that as well here in a little bit. But check out the other stuff we have available. The coaching, you can do, one-time donations if you want to be a supporter of the podcast and everything we've got going on here. Or you can go to patreon.com/liftingugly and you can support us there with monthly contributions.
That's all. That would be nice.
And what we get basically gives back. Is kind of how that whole thing goes down.
Old-fashioned paying it forward.
That's right. So on that note, let's get this party started, and we shall return in 2. And welcome back. Once again, this is episode 44 of the Lifting Ugly podcast. I am Craig Bird. There we go. And this over here, fine young gentleman there.
This guy
is none other than Alkai Allen.
Hi, guys.
Originally out of the great state, or the somewhat great state, depending on how you're looking at the quality of states.
Jesus,
Hawaii,
yeah.
And now residing in the, depending on how you look at states, great state of California.
Oh yeah, Hawaii is failing right now, and California is failing faster.
That's right. You know what? There's nothing better. Like than making everyone buy an electric car and then telling them they can't plug them in to charge them.
Fucking liberals.
That's just like nonsense. I don't even care what part of the political spectrum you're on. That's just nonsense.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're blue or red. That's just the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Ever.
Like that, you hear that come out of somebody's mouth, you just automatically should
smack the fuck out of them.
Yeah, just be like, hey, yeah, you assholes make no sense. Jesus. Fucking regulations that are just garbage. So, Mr. Allen. How was your week? Let's go over liftings and whatnot and rundowns of our own
and what have you
here and what have you.
So you know what? This week was pretty good. It's still been 1,000 degrees out here. The past couple of days, Friday and Saturday and today aren't as bad. But Monday through Thursday, I mean, for the past month, it's been heinous. And the dehydration factor is super real. So I have to slam like Gatorade. I wake up, I slam like 2 Gatorade packets in the morning, and I'm trying to just pound water all day. But like squats on Tuesday, after working all last weekend and all that shit, like it moved and the 600 flew, which is awesome. But holy shit, like after we were done, the gym was so goddamn hot, and I don't know if it's the trend, I don't know if it's whatever, but like I was sweating my ass off. My blood pressure was skyrocketing. Like
that has a lot to do with it, I would imagine.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm just trying to stay on top of water, trying to stay on top of food. But I had to call it quits after my top set. I was supposed to do a back down. I was supposed to do a 3x3 at 5:45 as like back sets, but like I got one done and my body was just toast. So I like threw the shirt off and was on the ground, like half dying in front of the fan next to the gym dog. Just both of us sharing the fan. No, squats were really good. It flew. I'm super happy with it. We used the velocity tracker and shit was just firing super fast. So that was awesome. Bench moved really great. I think it was a top set of, I think it was like 435 for a 1x5, and that flew off the chest. Deads were really good too. I pulled. So this week, where I guess just a little bit of context, we've been switched completely over to kilos now, just because we're 2 months out. So we want to make sure everything's like, yeah. So first time using the squat bar in months, which was awesome. Kilos felt fine. Deadlifts felt fine. Pulled a top single at 650. That flew off the ground. Same thing with the back down sets. That was kind of the same issue. I don't know if it's dehydration or what. I mean, I'm eating 3 or 4 meals a day before I go into the gym, so I know it's not a calorie thing. I think it's just a little bit of heat exhaustion and dehydration. So we're just trying to play it smart with everything. So not too bad. I didn't hit my secondary bench just because this weekend was slammed with Max's meet on Saturday. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So I worked out 2 times this week.
But it's not 0 times. So
it is not 0 times. So I guess so everything was, I mean, obviously there's always little things once the gym is up and operational that need to be done. But all the big stuff was all done by Monday at our opening Monday. Everything's been going good. New people signing up, all that good stuff. So everything's going good there. So finally I was like, I need to start lifting something. I've had so during the move, I've had issues with like my PCL in my right knee. So, I mean, I had it where it woke me up in the middle of the night.
Oh, I remember you saying something about that.
You're right. So that's still an issue that I'm kind of concerned about. And then I think I talked about kind of the things on my fingers. So there's a little bit left. That one's not that one.
Oh, yeah.
That was one where I scraped it on the loading deck. And then Sunday after, so the day after we did last week's podcast, let's see if I can get this one. That's the remnants of putting the drill through my finger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that took me out of any deadlifts this week. Yeah. And so I'm hoping by the end of next week it'll kind of feel a little bit better so that I can, or maybe I'll just have to use straps or something until I get, because I mean it's more than just like a cut. It's like that whole finger's a little tender.
You thought about we use super glue at the gym.
Well, after it happened, I mean I bled all over everything.
Yeah.
So I was putting up the mirror and I was holding a little clip to tighten it in, and it slipped and jammed right into my finger. And it didn't bleed right away. I'm gonna say it was probably because of the DECA, that my blood's a little thicker than normal.
So it was more so like coming out in clumps, just like.
Well, yeah. So like at first I was like, oh, that hurt. I was like, but that, it's not bleeding. So I'm holding up the mirror and try and get it set. And then I look down and there's like blood dripped on the wall. It's on. I'm like, oh, okay, there. Nice. And then it just wouldn't stop bleeding. Like after that, it kept going. So, but anyway, got the mirrors up. So that was good for everyone. But I did bench Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Did some bench. Everything felt decent. At a whopping 315. I did a 3x5 there. Felt
good.
Felt pretty good getting everything moving again.
Yeah.
Did some accessory work, and then I I did some squats yesterday just with the SSB.
Yeah.
Super light. Just like I
How's the
said,
PCL?
during the squats it wasn't too bad. What's
Gotcha.
funny is after my bench setup and then getting out from my set of bench is when it hurt the worst. Having that knee
Huh.
bent and putting the pressure down,
Oh,
it tightened up those ligaments. And so when I would
ooh.
go to try and extend them out, they were like locked up.
Yeah.
And so that almost hurt worse. But I could feel, during the SSB, I could feel where if I tried to really go much heavier, that would cause an issue.
Yeah.
But I just wanted leg movement, so
Oh, for sure.
just did some SSB, some hack squats, some goblet squat, box squats, goblet box squats, extensions, just some basic stuff, nothing crazy. Just because I wanted to work in.
Yeah, but you're moving again, though. That's what matters.
And doing the moving I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
not the other moving that is.
Well,
really
to be fair, like, okay,
you
hit a 3x. So I was actually talking about this with Kelly the other day, and we were talking about like what our normals are for the people we're around. Right. And he brought up the fact, he was like, dude, all the fucking people I know are not normal. So all the numbers that we're putting up may seem normal, but just remember it's convoluted because all the people we're around were strong. Right. So you're still doing a 3x5 at 315.
Right. And I know, and a lot of, and I'm like, to me, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm okay with it because I haven't worked out in like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. And then my body was beat up from moving. So I'm okay with it. But I also know there's a lot more there. And then people are like, oh, whatever, but yeah, 315 for, you 5 flu. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I know I can do more. And they're like, well, I can't even do 315 or whatever, And I'm like, I know, but that's you.
So a lot of people can't squat that, is what I'm saying.
but I'm not those people. If they want to squat that, guess what?
Dude.
If they want to squat that and they want to bench more than that, then pay money and hire us to help you do that. And we'll help you to lift more.
Yes, it will. I mean, I guess for now, like, I would say, like, if the bending in the knee hurts, you could always do Larson press with your feet up, or just like any variation of like feet up bench. You just can't avoid that in general.
Right. Yeah.
Then, maybe just like box squats, just cutting it at parallel, because you have the box or the stools, right? The black and red ones that you could. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so I mean, I have this stuff to be able to do it, and that's why I did like the goblet squats. I was just I would just sit down, and so it wasn't low enough to where I was really putting stress on the back of the knee. I didn't even think about it on the bench until I got up after that first one. I was like, oh shit! I was like, oh shit, that's not opening up. I was like, that's closed off.
I mean, just as a temporary, have you thought about like just wearing knee sleeves while you're benching?
That might work. At least get
some compression.
A Michael Jackson sleeve, just a one knee.
Yeah, or
knee sleeve on
like,
one knee.
The he setup.
Yeah. And then Julia's actually worked out 3 times this week too.
Oh shit!
So,
shouts out to Julia.
So she's been able to get off work and hit up some workouts.
Love that.
So that was good. Yeah. After she saved my life moving.
Dude, gotta love that. She's your mini you, so I'm not surprised that she fucking helped you move.
Yeah, so it was cool. So yeah, it's kind of getting back to normal. I started a new job this week.
Elaborate.
So I interviewed and got hired and got offered the job beginning of August.
Damn.
And so it's a quote unquote sales position for an insulation company.
Oh, okay.
Super just great. Who doesn't love insulation and talking about insulation? So just a job that you wouldn't even think was a job, really. But
yeah,
I interviewed. They offered it on the spot, and I was like, okay, great, but I can't start till I have all this going on. I can't start till this day.
Yeah.
So I go in there on Tuesday. I text the guy. He's the operations manager. He's over this whole place. I said, hey, this is Craig Bird. I said, I'm starting tomorrow. I said, do we have a plan? Because I hadn't heard anything. So do we have a plan for tomorrow? Didn't hear anything back. So I walk in Tuesday morning, go to the girl that is the office manager, tell her what's going on, hand her my paperwork. And she's like, yeah, I'm not surprised. So we walk out. I find the guy. I go, He's like, all right, come with me. And I'm like, all right, well, cool. Apparently he is expecting me. And we get out, and we're just walking around. He's talking to people. And then he turns to me. He's like, it was Jeff, right? And I was like, that's really close. I said, it's Craig. I said,
You're
but
a couple
don't worry.
letters off.
I said, don't worry. It happens all the time. So
I get Jeff.
Right. And so I spent like the first 2 hours sitting in his office on my phone because he was doing his job.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why the fuck am I here? Like, I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, this is the dumbest thing ever. So I did like a little bit of actual work that day, but not much. So I was kind of questioning things. He wanted me to go to a Steamboat with him the next day. And I'm like, I can't just be gone for 14 hours without notice. I have other things planned. So he's like, all right, well, don't worry about coming in tomorrow. Just come in Thursday. And never once have I been told what time to come in. So I just show up at 8, and I'm assuming that's okay.
Yeah.
So Thursday I did a little bit more. This was the other funny thing. So I walk in Thursday, and I hand the office manager my social security card. So she had everything in hand. And she saw me, and she's like, what? And I was like, well, you seem surprised to see me. And she's like, well, yeah, I am. I was like, okay, well, that's not a good sign. Why are you surprised? She's like, well, you spent all day with him yesterday, right? And Steve, I said, no, I didn't go. She's like, oh, okay, well, we'll give you till Monday then. And I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on? Like, they're not expecting me. They're like expecting I'm not gonna like stick around, I guess.
Why? Just because they were dicking around with you in the office the other day?
I guess I don't know. I don't know if this is like all a test. Like they like ignore you and kind of mess with you, and just to see if you'll stick it out. But Friday was cool. I went out with a guy. We had a good time. We measured some stuff. I got a good rundown on how everything works.
Yeah.
They try to explain things to me that I already know, and I'm like, yeah, I know. You do this, this, and this, and they're like, wow. And I was like, yeah, I'm not a fucking idiot. I was like, this is kind of,
insulation, you fucking morons.
Right. But to be fair, I mean, there are a lot of morons out there, so that's who they've dealt with in the past. So anyway, I think it'll work out well. It's a good opportunity. Like, I get a truck, a computer, a phone.
Oh, shit.
An expense card, all kinds of cool shit.
Dude.
I get a good salary plus commission, so I couldn't really pass it up. So as much as I wanted to say I don't want to work, I just want to do the gym and train. Like this was too much to pass up.
Hell yeah! Is it remotely? Is it remote from home, or are you working?
No, I got to work in the office. So
okay.
I got to I don't have to check in every morning, but like you're supposed to go in the morning, and then they do whatever, and then you go out and do your bids or do your measurements. You go and meet with people. You go back and you do the proposals in office. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could probably make it do whatever I wanted to as long as my work is getting done.
Yeah.
I imagine they'll probably let me do pretty much whatever I want. So it's just kind of getting how the flow of how everything works.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it was an interesting week with that. Like, so it's like the gym's opening and I'm dealing with this weird ass start to a job. and I think it was like, there was 3 times on Thursday that I was talking to somebody and they're like, oh, do you have an office here yet? Oh, do you have this yet? And I'm like, I don't even know if I work here.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I work here yet. I might just be showing up just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see and then I told Amber, I was like, I guess we'll see if I get paid. I was like, I don't even know when payday is because no one's told me when I get paid, but I'm supposed to get paid at some point.
I mean, salary and commission though, that's not bad.
Yeah. So I think it'll be good. I don't know if they're just they're just disorganized and weren't ready, or if it was like,
I mean, that more than likely,
or they were just like intentionally messing with me to see if I was gonna, stick it out. But
I mean, what would you do to a new employee? What did you do to me the entire time I was in Colorado?
Well, that's different though. Like if I was running that kind of company, I would think I would have like the whole day planned out. Okay, you're new, so you're gonna go here.
We're going to walk you through everything.
Yeah. Or do this and then go home because everyone else is going to be busy doing their thing.
Yeah.
So there's no point in you just being here watching everyone not doing anything. So you might as well just, go home and watch these videos, research this product, that kind of thing. So that, you don't have to be here, but here's some work you can do so you can be better prepared going on in the future.
Uh-huh.
It was just funny, and so I felt a little bit better after Thursday, and that's why I was like, well, I'm just gonna
Okay,
fucking
good.
lift. I feel better.
Yeah.
I feel better physically, mentally. I felt better about the job, so I'm like, all right, cool, time to lift. So yeah, so
Awesome.
it'll all work out, man. It was just just a fucking bizarre thing to deal with, but anyway. All right,
Yes, you got
so
some.
yeah, I got that all hooked up, which will help out everything in the end.
Good.
So we're gonna. Oh no, this is what I want to start with. So did you see my Instagram story
Which one?
with my hidden reveal?
Is it not up there anymore?
It should be up there. Let me see. Anyway, so about the new product drop.
Oh, I can see the O and the S.
All right, so let me do a screen share here.
Oh, I can't wait.
So here, and then we're doing this screen. All right, there we are.
Yes.
So if you can see, so there's a lot of OnlyFans that have a little lock in the middle.
Yep.
So I put a little face. I put the lifting ugly
Nice.
face in the middle, and then the back is
The LU.
would have this on the back. Yep, on the back of it. So I did a T-shirt, and I did. See how well this all responds here. Let's see, T-shirt and tank top that goes up to 3X.
God bless you.
Yeah, I don't know what this is doing, but that doesn't look anything. I just pushed back. Let's see, and a long sleeve shirt.
Oh.
So since we're coming up on fall and winter, a long sleeve version as well. So we do
Love
have
that.
an Only Pins long sleeve shirt available, tank top and T-shirt.
Oh, I'm gonna be getting the tank.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
I cooked those up yesterday, so I was pretty happy with how those turned out.
Those are
So
epic.
anyone out there, yeah, make sure you go to liftingugly.com, check those out, grab one, sport them, send them to us, so that way we can share you wearing the gear. But yeah, it came together good. I was kind of surprised, and so I was like, I'm gonna throw it on everything. Everything's Only Pins.
Mm-hmm. We should do an alternate one with the eye being the plug, like the pin itself. Or is that too blatantly obvious?
or instead of the lifting ugly face and the O, just do you can just do the syringe instead of the lock on there, just because it's small enough, like it wouldn't really like draw attention to it.
Yeah. Well,
Know.
consider that bot.
Yeah, I was like, I almost like made it and then just bought it right as soon as I put it together.
Yeah. I can't wait to snag that.
Yeah. So anyone out there, I mean, I'm going to put them up on, social media, the full out, exposure of them here a little bit later today. But anyone listening right now, you guys have, first opportunity to jump on and grab one before the exclusive release to you, our loyal followers and friends.
Yeah.
And daughter. But cool. Yeah. So we got that. So I was excited about that. I want to hear about, let's talk about Max.
First off, incredibly proud of him. Like, that dude showed up for every single fucking training day. We had we moved gyms, went from Convoy to STS. And then the second we moved to STS, everything just skyrocketed. I mean, we have Kabuki coaches in there. We have Kelly, who's basically a certified can heal just about everything. We have eyes on everyone while they're lifting, so we adjusted his squat, we adjusted his deadlift, we fixed his bench, we like just all the little things that kind of needed touching up on, and things were just flying during training. So and he did everything I asked him to. He was on top of food, he was on top of sleep, he was on top of water, like just one of the best people that I've gotten to work with, and I'm super I can't wait to start with him again.
Just listen to everything,
like literally everything. I mean,
everything.
He's a total shithead, and he's such a fucker, and he likes to talk so much shit, and so does the entire gym. So
it sounds like a perfect place.
Oh my god, fantastic!
Sounds like home to me.
It sounds like I just went from Colorado to California.
Right. Same type of people.
Literally the same type of people. Yeah, so I didn't get to make weigh-ins, unfortunately, because I had to work. But I don't want to. I'm going to go over some of the things that really pissed me off and some of the things that were really fantastic about the meet. So I don't want anyone who's listening to take away from the gym where it was hosted, the gym owner, and all that kinds of stuff. Because Rick, who owns Ironmongers, is a fantastic human. He's super cool, runs an awesome spot, put together a fantastic meet. It was the whole thing was a charity event for one of the coaches there. His name is Mike. He runs something called the Heavy Breathing Foundation, and it's him and his fiance, and they basically take kids and adults that have been in the system for a while or troubled or whatever, and they basically help format. I mean, I guess it's lifting, it's life. It's basically teaching them how to be the right person in and out of the gym. So it's kind of a cool spot to just to kind of see all that go down. And it's a huge warehouse. It's a sick fucking facility. They got all kinds of cool shit there. There were some huge things that were kind of really fucked up that weren't really cool. The judging was pretty inconsistent. They were fucking up people's numbers. Another one of the coaches there, who's also his name is Mike. He's a good friend of mine. One of his lifters was about to squat, and he goes post in for the combo rack. They didn't fucking Mike was yelling at them right on the side of the platform, post in, post in, post in. He repeated it 4 fucking times, and they finally heard him. So of course, when your lifter is about to go on the platform, that fucking 8 feet from where you're sitting down to when you step onto the platform, in my opinion, is the most detrimental, critical. That's where you get your head in the game before you get on the platform, right? You know. So when you fuck up someone's mojo like that, it can completely throw off their lift. So you can go from smoke showing it or grinding it out to fucking not even making it. So
yeah, well, we talked about a couple weeks ago that happening at that meet that I went to, that I took Shelby to.
Yeah,
that happened to Philip and to his girlfriend Emily.
Yeah,
the same thing.
So it's just So he didn't get his post in until he was about to get on the platform. So he already hit his ammonia. They backslapped him already. And they had to fucking wait, which is horseshit. So they finally get the post in. His lifter nails the squat. His lifter had a fantastic day. Awesome. Killed it. And then Max goes to squat, and they get his fucking height wrong. He's at 20 on the combo rack, and it's sitting at 18. Kelly is sitting in front of the combo rack taking videos for us, and he's looking at the judges the height's wrong, the height's wrong, the height's wrong. It says it multiple times, and Max looks at me and is like, dude, the height's wrong. And I'm like, fucking, I yell, I'm like, fucking fix it. So they finally get the height back up to normal. Jeez. And Max goes for his 552 and doesn't make it out of the hole. So he nails his second squat, goes for 552, which we hit 540 in training, and he smoked it. So I knew he was going to fucking hit 552. And for it to be something like that when it is out of your control because the fucking judges and the goddamn loaders and spotters aren't fucking paying attention is incredibly frustrating. They have it's all on the board right there.
Right. And you have how many loaders and spotters working? 5, 6 of them?
I mean, there was 4 in rotation, But like, regardless, there's a fucking projector that
Right.
is displaying everything that you need right in front of you. How could you get that wrong?
Heights, what color plates, how many of the color
How
plates.
do you get that wrong?
Right.
And that was just the first occurrence. So bench rolls around, and like, I mean, I'm not paying attention to anyone else because I don't give a shit about anyone else, right? Because I'm here for Max. Right. So Max is about to go for his second attempt on bench. He opened up with 325, smoked it. Went to 340 something. And before we get on the platform, the right side of the rack was 4 holes higher than the left.
Oh, and nobody noticed that?
I'm standing there screaming at the judges. What the fuck is this? Like, I'm pointing at the head judge, and I'm looking at him like, what the fuck is this? And the judge that's in front of us, the side judge that's in front of us, looks at me and goes, oh, you don't want to bench like that? And I was like, are you fucking out of your mind? Like, Max has already hit his ammonia. He's ready to go bench. And sorry, if you're looking at the combo, it's the right-hand side. It is at least 3 or 4 holes off from where it should be. The bar is literally sitting like this. And you're telling me that the head judge, the 2 fucking side judges,
right,
and the loaders and spotters can't spot that? That you can't see that? You could be across the gym and you can see that shit.
Right. Oh yeah.
What kind of shit is that? And to get lip from, like, to get some smart ass remark from the side judge, like she thought it was funny. Like, are you fucking, fuck you? Like, that's bullshit.
From one of the people that's looking directly at it.
Yeah, and the head judge was nationally ranked. Are you out of your mind? You can't even see that? That it is blatantly off. Like, if it was off by 1 hole, you can still see it, but it's not as drastic.
It's a little more understandable.
You can see what's going on. So Max
that's like an inch and a half, 2 inches.
Yeah,
you know,
at least
close to 3 that you're looking
100%. So Max thankfully got his head in the game, smoked his bench, went for his 3rd attempt, smoked it as well. So like squats out of his control, which makes me want to burn the goddamn gym down. 2nd attempt, or all 3 of his benches, he did fantastic. Nailed his first 2 deadlifts, and they misloaded his 3rd one. So either whoever was expediting,
was it out of balance or just too heavy?
It was supposed to be 552. They put 545 on there.
Oh.
So whoever was expediting didn't listen to me, and I looked at the sheet and I pointed at it and I put my fucking finger on it, and I was like, I want this. I was like, I want 552 and whatever the kilo equivalent of that is. So can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so either the expediter wasn't paying attention, or when the head judge was calling off, like he was reading them off for some reason. So instead of the loaders and spotters just looking at the picture of what's supposed to be there, because it blatantly tells you what you need. So either the expediter didn't hear what I was saying, the head judge read it off wrong, or the loaders and spotters just didn't take 5 fucking seconds to look at the projector. Mm-hmm. So Max smoke shows his 545 and he's stoked about it. Sends me a text message later, like on our way home, and he sends me a picture of the lift. He's like, they misloaded my bar.
Did he get credit for the 552?
I have to check. They haven't posted anything yet. What the hell is that? Jeez. And then you're gonna give the people that are at the gym special treatment for the songs that they want to play, but not for everyone else.
That's a little weird. So who was the federal one?
It was USPA. Yeah.
Kind of surprised that they would. I mean, that it's that lax and
not to mention the guy that was back spotting for squats and deadlifts is known for letting people pass out in front of him.
Oh, that's a good person to have.
So there's at one of the last meets that they did, I don't know if it was the Masters or whatever, that guy wasn't paying attention. The lifter was walking off the platform and checked the fuck out and smacked his head. And has had multiple occurrences of people passing out in front of him. Why is he there?
Right. Just keep inviting him back for more.
And not to mention, he has the douchiest like calf tattoos. It was a pentagram on each one, and on one calf it said "Hell must fear me."
Yeah,
You're spooky, bud. You're a real spooky human. Like
that's because real hardcore people need to tell you in a tattoo.
it's just like all the things. Like I feel, regardless of what happened, Max did fantastic. He didn't let that shit. He didn't let that shit get under his skin. He showed up. He showed the fuck out, and he smashed his lifts. So I can tell he's going to want to come in and start training again soon to get after the next one, which I know he's going to blow through these numbers next time. It's just really frustrating when your first meet as a power lifter has stupid shit like that going on.
Well, the only good news is that most likely they'll all be better from there.
I hope so, man. It makes me not want to go to another. Like that's where my meet's going to be at in November. And I was talking to the Mike that had the lifters post in wrong. Mm-hmm. He's a massage therapist. He goes by Iron Hands Mike. He's a cool dude. I was talking to him, and we were talking about some of the people that are going to be there on my day. So Andy Huang is going to be there.
Oh, wow.
The big Asian guy. Yeah.
Competing.
Holy
shit. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun to watch.
Well, he's projected to squat 850 right now.
Right.
So, which is at 275 is batshit insane. So you better not have that back squatter on a day where guys like for our division, there's going to be big numbers on that bar. So another guy, Brandon Rosette, trains at a dead weight over here, big Filipino guy. He's projected to squat 850 as well. So we can't have that kind of stupid lollygagging shit when there's weight on the bar that could physically fucking kill someone.
Right.
There's going to be huge squats, there's going to be big benches, and there's going to be big deadlifts. So if you need to pay the extra mile to get better people to watch your lifters, you got to do it.
Well, I imagine that having one of the owners of Iron Rebel be a competitor, that you would make sure that you had the best of the best taking care of it, because there's no way. I mean, I imagine. There's bigger companies than them, but they're a substantial.
They're substantial, man.
Right. So if he gets rubbed wrong during that whole process,
screwed.
Yeah. Then whoever the promoter is, the judges, and all that, they have a lot to answer to, because those guys put a lot of money into powerlifting.
Which again, this has nothing to do with Rick as a gym owner.
No, he
has no control over what.
Right. It's the promoters. The promoters are the ones who put the judges together, who, are in charge of what the process of how the meet goes.
Yeah.
All the gym does is provide the space and the equipment at most.
Yeah.
And then maybe some extra sponsorships and, gathering that kind of stuff. But for the most part, the gym is just giving you the space.
Yeah.
As in return for basically for advertising. So it's usually not the fault of the gym. It's usually just, it seems like the promoters are failing somewhere, or they just have whoever the group of judges are just aren't doing their job. But all your spotters and loaders are all from the promoter. They're the ones who gather all those people together.
Yeah.
So unless the guy that owns the gym that was hosting it was also the promoter, it's really has nothing to do with.
I'm not sure. I'm not trying to take this as a standpoint of trying to talk shit about anybody. Like this is just, as a coach, you want your lifter to have the best day ever. And when it's something that is out of your control, like just the shit that happened, this isn't things that Max and I can control.
Right.
The best thing we can do is move forward, correct all the things that need to be corrected on our end, and just keep going.
A failure on the part of the coach or the lifter is one thing. That's, like you said, that's what we're in control of as lifters, as coaches. That's what you're in control of. If the lifter fails, if the coach fails, that's on you. But if you fail because an outside presence doesn't do what they're there to do, then there's nothing more frustrating than that.
Absolutely.
It happens in any sport, in any competition, you have judges and referees and all that don't do their jobs. They're having one of those days, or maybe they're just not good at their job, and it completely fucks everyone over, and they don't care because they just whatever. It don't matter to me. Oh, you don't want to bench like that? Oh. Yeah, this isn't like practice. You're not warming up. You're not in the gym where it's like, dude, you didn't move the stand up.
Yep.
Oh, you don't want to bench like that's one thing. That's like,
this is game day.
Yeah, but this is like everyone should be like dialed in.
Yeah.
Rotors, spotters, judges, competitors, coaches. That's the day that you've been training for and working for on every aspect around, across the board. So everyone should be be bringing their A game to the party to get this done. And be right.
Oh, 100%, man.
It's always disappointing when stuff like that goes on. But as long as, if he enjoyed himself, which is, I mean, for the most part, is your responsibility to make sure that he doesn't know as much of the bad shit that goes on during the process. Obviously with those things, he noticed most of them because they were directly towards him. The stuff that happened with Shelby, I was able to kind of keep her out of the loop on.
Well, you don't want it to distract them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
it's like you focus on your lift. That's it. But when it interferes with that one thing that they're supposed to be doing, it's super frustrating.
Well, and then the last thing you want them to see is that happening right in front of them.
Right.
And like there was no way for me to not have Max not see that. He was at the chalk bowl.
Yeah.
He just sniffed his ammonia. So like because he like for the bench rack, he looked at me. He was like, "Dude, what the fuck is going on?" And he's already in fight or flight mode because he sniffed the fucking he sniffed the fucking ammonia already. Like what?
So overall, he hit numbers that you guys were hoping he'd hit, right?
Other than squats, yes, he had, and then the misloading of the fucking deadlift.
Right. But it's still a good number for him though, the 545.
You know what, man? Like, and here's the thing: the coolest thing about the failed squat, his form did not break down.
He just stopped.
He failed in perfect form.
Yeah, I mean,
like
that's the way to go out, right?
I had
just stop.
I had the people in the front row when after we were done expediting, walk back to where the lifters were sitting. A couple dudes were like, "Excellent squat, man!" Like on the field, they were like,
right.
"Excellent squat." Like any real coach or any real lifter is gonna recognize that even if you fucking fail, if you failed in perfect form, you're still doing okay.
You didn't fold. You didn't. You didn't dip. Like none of those things took place. It's just it's like failing a deadlift when your back never breaks plane.
Yeah, you just got stuck.
You just stop. And it's like, well, that's where we're ending this whole process.
Yeah. Right? So Rick was expediting for the bench portion, and he watched the 341 fly off Max's chest, and we racked it, and we walked over to the area. He was like, killer fucking bench, dude. Max was like, honestly, man, it's all him. He did it. Like, he was pointing at me, and I was like, dude, fuck you. You just benched that. I didn't do anything.
Right, yeah. I didn't do anything. I didn't press shit.
Yeah, so Max was like, it's all this guy. Like, he did fantastic. And Rick did look at me and was like, we'll see after your third attempt if it's really all you. And I was like, fuck. And Rick's a big dude. He's probably like 6'4". He's probably around like 250. Like, he's a big dude, tatted, like just scary dude. And after Max finishes his third bench, we walk off, and Rick was like, good shit. I was like, fuck yeah. All right.
Yeah. So speaking of meats,
let me pull up that IPF post real quick.
Okay, yeah, I have it as well. So Wyatt brought this to my attention earlier yesterday, and I was like, oh, I'll have to look into it. But then, like, since then, all I've seen is posts about it. I went to YouTube and I found this video.
Yeah.
That I want to share, and I thought the guy was going in it. Hold on. I thought he was going in a good direction, and then he really started to bother me. So I want to play some of it.
Okay.
Let me bring this up. Let's see if I get the right part. Can you see it?
Yep.
Greater ranges of motion and more legitimate looking bench presses throughout, competition. Now that wraps up the news for the week. Now I want to move into the informational topic of the week, which will be going over utilizations of the high bar squat in powerlifting.
Let me see.
Perform bench press and a
bench press.
It went back. Hold on.
Images that had a flat back while benching. And if you have
back a little further, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay, probably about here.
Arch, and we have to flat back forever going forward. And I will say it was incredibly difficult to find a picture of someone actually performing the barbell bench press flat back. This is why I had to find this picture of this animated dude benching, because I literally could not find anyone on Google Images that had a flat back while benching. And if you have any sort of or glutes, it's going to be impossible to avoid.
Okay, that's really I need to watch. So first first I want to talk about flat back, because I commented on this post because this guy goes off on, you can't flat back bench, blah blah blah. Everyone's got an arch. Flat, and you can tell me if you think I'm wrong, and I'm perfectly okay with hearing a different side if I'm wrong. No, when anyone references flat back benching, no one is saying that 100% of your back is touching the bench. That's not what that means. It means you're benching with your natural arch in your low back with full upper back and glute contact without bending and compressing your spine more than it's normal. It's a normal arch. So if you have a normal arch that you have in your back, that's a flat back bench. This guy is going off, I couldn't find anyone flat back benching. No, that's because nobody folds the other direction.
Yeah. And
no one's asking you to put your entire spine on the bench.
No.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So when I hear like flat benching, I'm just thinking of typical gym douchebags who are just literally full contact from top of the traps to
the only way to really do that is if you put your feet on the bench. That's the only way to flat back.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're gonna have like that lumbar dip. Like I get that, and I'm saying like when I hear flat benching, I'm thinking you're not even tucking your shoulder blades.
Right.
Yeah, that's when I hear flat benching, it's because you're not sitting on your traps. You're not bringing in and depressing your scaps. Like you're not getting your lats involved. Like you're flat benching the flat bench.
Right.
You know? So this guy was saying like your entire spine needs to be.
Well, he was saying, because, and we'll talk about the IPF rule. Basically, the new IPF rule, someone was like, well, we should just delete arching altogether. He's like, well, it's not that easy. I couldn't even find anyone that was flat back benching. I'm like, to me, flat back benching is not your entire back being in contact. It is not, flat back benching to me is not creating an excessive arch other than what your body naturally does. It's your body's natural. If you are benching in your body's natural position in your setup, in a normal setup, that's a flat back bench. As soon as you start pulling your shoulder blades down and your glutes back further and pressing your abdomen up in the air, then you're creating the arch. You're decreasing the range of motion. To me, that's the difference between an arc bench and a flat bench.
Yeah.
So I hated where he was going with it.
Well, I think it was him just trying to be like contrary to popular belief, because he wanted to be some dickhead to reinvent the wheel.
Right. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, I agree. And I was like, yeah, that's not what anyone means when they say flat back bench.
Well, it's also some Joe Schmo fucking nobody. Who the fuck was that guy?
I don't
no
know.
idea who that guy was. But
it doesn't look like he's touched a heavy weight in his life.
No, not at all. But I'm looking at.
Okay, so I have it up. I can screen share that one as well.
Go for it.
So that way anyone that is looking at it can kind of see what the post from the IPF new bench regulations. Let's see. Do you have it there? Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. So these are two no-nos that they have positioned. These are chests and abdomen that are super high on people that are not very big at all.
Yep. Well, it's
so
just
they're saying
it's too much of a thoracic extension. Like
right, exactly. So where their shoulders at and where their elbows are at, yes, it's touching, and they get a press command. But if you look at the bend in the elbows, they're saying that is not enough. What they're looking for is this.
Yeah.
Shoulder joint, elbow at even. I mean, they'll even take even at even or below the shoulder joint. Like none of this shit. Let's knock this goofy shit out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was like, at first I'm like, oh great, the IPF is going to have some dumbass rule that they put in place. I like this rule.
No, I mean it level it like. But then are they going to do the same thing for sumo? Or you know what I mean? Like, so I like that they're doing this, but it can also really create a cascading effect. You know what I mean? Because the next topic is going to be like, okay, what about the guys that pull super sumo, or guys that pull their legs too far? Like when we did our meet in South Dakota, the head judge was like, or the meet director was like, if you fucking turn your toes in, we're not counting it.
Right.
You know. So
I think that's a good stance on a sumo.
Yeah.
I think there could be. I mean, I think most people would appreciate if there was something a little more defined, because you can still go out pretty wide and have a very limited range of motion. But a deadlift is really hard. I guess maybe they can figure out what joint needs to be in what position to qualify as a range of motion that's enough.
See, but then they're going to be like, okay, well, it's going to affect people's dot scores. Their correlations are going to be different. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's going to cause so much fucking chaos. Like, thank God I don't live for the IPF anyway. Like, fuck those guys. They're fuck them. But it's just now that you're forcing people to have an increased range of motion, it's gonna send people's benches backwards, which I don't give a fuck about. I mean, I'm not complaining about it. It's more so just stating the obvious.
Right.
Like it's you are now taking people that have found a fucking loophole and you're making them go back to the drawing board and actually bench.
Yeah, they have to reevaluate their entire setup and their entire bench.
Yeah.
And the whole reason they did this is because people were setting these IPF world records out of the water with a 2-inch range of motion. They were dropping down, they were hitting their chest or their abdomen of course they're super wide as well. They have this tiny bend in the elbows, and they're following the rules that were set in place. So I mean, I do like this. I wish that every other federation would adopt it. We have it for squat, that the crease in your hip has to drop below your knee. Okay, so why can't we have the elbow drop below the shoulder joint on the pad?
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense. The deadlift, I do think if they try and get a little too carried away, it'll get very
sticky.
Yeah.
Well, then it's going to break into like, or are people going to have a separate like equation for sumo? Are they going to have a separate equation for conventional? Are they going to have a different category for like? It's just like,
I mean, it's bad enough with squats. Like this is pretty self-explanatory to me. Like a bench, it's like, did the elbows hit? The judge should be able to see that pretty easy. Squat can already get a little bit sticky with somebody's hip crease, because some of the judges don't look at a hip crease. They look at a different part of the hip, which isn't necessarily the section that they're supposed to be looking at and where it's dropping. So that already gets a little iffy. So if they try and do something similar in deadlift, then it's going to be, well, this judge judges it this way, this judge judges it this way. This one's giving this person an okay, but mine was the same. You know, to me, it gets deadlifting. It gets super sticky if they try and really get too carried away with sumo. I like basic. If you have to move your feet, if you have to shift your feet when you're dropping it so that you don't slam your toes, that's obviously too far.
You're taking it too far.
And I think that's going to have to be good enough. Otherwise, it's going to get weird. like shit's just gonna get weird.
Well, like I can't remember what the meet was. I think it was Fight or Quit hosted. Can't remember what the meet's name was, but Dan Griggs pulled 1065 on, and he, it moved fucking 8 inches off the ground, if that,
Right.
maybe a foot. I mean, it's still legal and it's still heavy. You still have to hold 1065 in your fucking hands, which
Right.
is absolutely batshit insane, especially if you're pulling hook grip. That's wild. But it's also like, I don't know, where do you draw the line with that shit?
Well, it's almost at that point. It's almost because if you're taking the width of the bar into consideration,
Yep.
that your last probably 200 pounds is basically a rack pull.
Yeah.
So I mean, well, probably more than that. I mean, you might have half your weight that's a rack pull that you're lifting.
Well, now
the
that
other,
most
the
of
other first section is only.
Yeah, well, I mean, now that most of we're using the Kabuki deadlift bar, and there's an absurd amount of whip on that thing, like to the point where I don't really like it. I mean, if I'm being totally honest with you, there's too much whip. By the time you're pulling the slack out of the bar, it's a decent way up your shin. Like it's to me, it felt like pulling on a mammoth bar, just shorter. So
Right.
I still think the Texas deadlift bar is by far the most superior one to pull on.
It gives you good whip for some momentum.
Well, and then you don't have to worry, is the fucking weight off the ground yet?
Right, you're not dragging.
You know what I
you're
mean?
not trying to.
So at that point, at that point,
you're gonna have a sumo puller that full lockout that still has weight on the ground.
Or it's this far off the fucking ground.
Yeah. Well, and I've seen a couple of those. I mean, you have like maybe a 2-inch gap between the outside plates and the mat, and it's that's still the weight off the ground, but you did it at your strongest point in your body and in your lifts. That top end, if you had to pull stiff bar, most likely you could probably take half that weight and you would struggle to get it off the ground.
Yeah. I mean, I would never ask someone to pull on stiff bar because I also think that's stupid. I'm just saying, it's just.
That's another IPF or a USAPL.
Well, I mean, they're not even affiliated anymore. They're completely separate.
Oh, that's right. They separated.
Yeah. Too many failed fucking drug tests because people.
But USAPL they're a stiff bar.
I mean, a stiff bar everything.
Deadlift.
Which is a whole nother conversation we can go into that would take
right.
way too long. But I don't know. It's just I'm glad they made that bench change because it's going to make people actually work for their benches. Because I've seen, I mean, I don't give a fuck what your bench is if it's moving 5 inches. I have a wingspan.
Right.
I still bench over 5. So there's zero fucking excuse other than the fact that you want to find loopholes and make your fucking training easier. So in that case, go fuck yourself. Work harder.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody who's
been stronger.
Someone's been lifting for a year is very flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Someone comes out of gymnastics, decides I'm going to go do powerlifting, creates this crazy arc, and all of a sudden, some girl's benching 250. When you put her in a normal position, she maybe can get 135.
It's it's an abuse of the system.
You're right. The width of the grip, the arch of the badge. So when I finally realized what the rule was, I was like, oh, sweet. I was like, I think everyone should do it. Every federation should adopt this.
Well, I mean, you don't see it really anywhere else other than maybe the WRPF in Russia and.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of crazy arches, I guess, in the USPA.
I mean, I've seen maybe 1 or 2, but it's also when the person gets off the bench, you don't see too many people go, ooh, you know what I mean? It's kind of it's a light clap, you know what I mean? Not that you're doing it for spectator, approval, but you should kind of I don't know. To me, it's because you want to blow through bench and you don't care about it,
Right.
I don't know.
Well, you're inflating your numbers. You're padding your score.
Yeah.
With loophole.
Yeah.
And
so to me, they're always have an asterisk next to your total if you're going to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good job. You still had to move the weight, but you didn't have to.
Yeah.
But you didn't do it the same way that everyone else did.
No.
It's just, yeah. Anyway, so I'm glad they decided to do it. It'll be interesting to see how that develops and how that kind of correlates into the other
Yeah.
federations if they
Not that I
decide
follow
to
the
take it on.
IPF at all, but
No, like I was like, oh, I don't like. I knew the IPF sucked, and I was like, they have a rule change. I was like, oh, shocking. I bet it's really
Yeah.
stupid. And then I looked at it. I was like, oh,
oh, okay.
I actually agree with this
Pleasantly
one.
surprised. Yeah.
Right.
It's like when the USAPL was talking about doing Classic Raw.
Uh-huh.
Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Like, how about you leave that for the monsters in our federation where we can
Right.
just do our
Yeah,
thing?
so you want somebody that is, drug free to have the assistance of knee wraps. It's like, and that's going to do what it's going to take their squat from 430 to 480, and still
Who knows,
nobody's going
man?
to
Like,
still nobody's impressed because everyone's like, yeah, I can do that too. I want a freak. People want to watch freaks. We've talked about this before.
yes.
In strength, in anything having to do with the gym, people can say what they want about gear. People can say what they want about any of it. But they show up, they don't want to watch average dude or girl up on stage, up on the platform, performing. They want the freak. They want to see the freak numbers.
Yep.
They want to be like, holy shit, that guy lifted that much.
Well, that's
that
why,
girl
like-
lifted that much. That's
Oh
insane.
yeah. Even yesterday, like it was awesome to watch Max compete. It was dope. Like, but it was the tested day, and even
Right.
the one super heavyweight that was there, like
Right.
there was like nothing. I don't know. It's amazing to watch people hit PRs. It's awesome to watch people grow as lifters. Like I'm not trying to diminish that, but from my standpoint as well, I want to watch the 200s, the 242s, the 274s and up with a needle in their ass, squatting fucking way too much weight, benching
Right.
something absurd, and ripping shit off the ground.
Right.
I want to see that shit. Like, I want to see the guy with the O2 mask on in the back because he can't breathe regularly, but he'll pull 900 off the ground.
Yeah, it was like watching Wasey at that meet in December.
Mm-hmm.
Watching Cody up in South Dakota this last year, and his mid-5 bench and his
Dude, even Austin at ours.
800 plus. Yeah, no, for him
Like-
being the size he is and ripping the weight that he did.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, like,
that's
you're
what you want to
170,
see.
And you squatted 660 or whatever the fuck it was, or
He was lower sixes, I think, at the one we did. He tried 660 this last year,
ridiculous.
but
Or
yeah.
like who else? God damn it. Dang gummit, Bobby. What was I gonna say? Fuck, I can't remember. But it's just it's fun to watch people do absurd fucking things.
Right. That's what gets the crowd going. Like you said, there's an enjoyment, and yes, you hit a PR. Yes, you did what you were but when you get into freak numbers and freak size people, that's when you're just like, oh hell yeah. Like, wait, this guy's doing what? He's squatting what? This girl is benching over 300. Are you insane?
Yeah.
This girl's squatting 600 or 5 something.
Mm-hmm.
She weighs 180 pounds. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
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 So that's what we all want to see. So
Hell yeah.
no one cares about the USAPL. Moral of that story.
Yep.
Nobody but the competitors' families goes to watch that. That one at that strongman meet that I did,
Yeah.
that I helped out with, and they had the USAPL event. There was like 10 people in the chairs watching it go on. And I was like, oh, that looks super fucking boring.
We should make a shirt that says tested lifting is boring.
Give me the freaks.
Give me the freaks.
All right. So I think it's a fun idea for White Lights, Red Lights. We're going to do a versus on today.
Oh shit, I'm down.
So since you had your meet, not yours, but Max's meet.
Yeah.
Could you give a little rundown on what this White Lights, Red Lights means?
Yeah. We're just gonna give a nice little
Synapsis.
a little synapse. Here we go. All right. You get to your lift, or you get to your competition. You're getting to meet everybody. You're saying what's up. You're saying hi to the friends you made at weigh-ins, or the people you're like, I don't want to talk to that guy, or I don't want to talk to that girl because they seem fucking terrible. You get your gear spot. You're hanging out. They call for the briefing. Either Rick did it yesterday, so either the gym owner, the meet director, the head judge, whatever, they'll bring everyone's sweaty asses in, talk about the rules, go over the little spiel on everything. Everyone has their own little twist on things. But what we are after are 3 white lights or 2 white lights. That comes with some criteria. Making your calls, finishing the lift, controlling the bar, making sure your commands are clean, not swearing too much on the platform. But basically, what we're after are 2 or 3 white lights and trying to diminish any reds from showing up. We don't want reds. Reds are bad. The only time I can say a red being cool is if you gave it your all and it just wasn't there. You got to love the grind. It's a beautiful
That's right. It is a beautiful thing. All right, so we're going to do a versus of insults.
Oh. Okay.
So I thought this might be fun. So
Bring it on.
one gets white lights, one gets red lights.
Okay.
Is which one you'd prefer? So the first one is, and these of course are things that you're going to call somebody. The first one is asshole versus bitch.
Oh. See, asshole to me is more universal.
Mm-hmm.
Bitch is more specific. I'm not a fan.
But bitch can also be very degrading if
for a man,
you're calling a guy a bitch.
Yeah.
And then women also do not like to be told that they are being a bitch.
Calling a dude a bitch is hilarious.
It is pretty fun.
So you know what? I'm
enjoyable.
gonna go bitch all the way.
Okay. That's good. Okay, this one I had fun with. So we're gonna go douche or douchebag, which I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
And then this one I don't really use, but it just because it's so graphic.
Yeah.
But so douche or douchebag versus cum stain.
Oh my god. Cum stain. I don't think I've ever used cum stain. I mean, I love like, oh, you fucking cum stain. I'm gonna give it to cum stain for sure. Okay. Yeah,
it's just the graphicness of it. I think
it's so great.
Takes it over the top.
Hell
and
yeah!
And then when you actually picture what it is,
yeah,
you're like, oh yeah, being that is probably not something that you want to be.
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna preface this next one by saying that neither one of these is geared towards any certain community. It's just used in generalized terms.
Okay.
So it'll be calling someone a fag versus a retard.
You can't even say either anymore.
Well, not really, but they both used to be really fun to call people. And what's always funny is you never call a gay person a fag. You just called someone who did dumb things.
Yeah.
And they pretty much were the same person. You can call the same person a fag, you can call the same person a retard. So, like I said, neither one has anything to do, like, fag doesn't have anything to do with the gay community. Retard has nothing to do with anyone with special needs.
No.
We've talked about it before.
Fag for sure.
Yeah. Fag kind of is in there for
Like if someone like the way Tom Segura puts it with gay, he's like, "Oh, you didn't get ice in your water? Oh, that's gay."
Oh, that's gay. Yeah, right. Like, what'd you do that for? You're such a fag. Like,
yeah.
So all right. I saved the best one for last.
Okay.
So, dickhead versus cunt.
Dickhead for sure.
You can go dickhead.
Yeah, I don't. Cunt doesn't really leave my mouth too much.
Oh, that sounds like we need a story of why there is cunt always attached to your mouth.
It doesn't come out of my mouth too much.
So dickhead comes in your mouth a lot?
Yeah. Fucking douchebag.
Hey, you're the one being a fag.
Yeah. No, it's yeah.
So
No,
you go
it's-
you prefer dick or dickhead?
I prefer dickhead for sure. To me,
Okay.
dickhead is funny. That's why.
It is funny. I love saying the word cunt.
And that was like
It
the
is.
one word that my dad like wouldn't let us say. Is cunt.
What's funny is like it's only like you go outside the United States,
Australia
it
abuses
flies. Yeah, it's everything is cunt, cunty.
it. Like every Australian I've talked to, they've said sick cunt like at least 100 times.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think after watching Game of Thrones, I was
Yeah.
like, well, and I guess I say it a lot too because Amber likes to say it, and so she's not one of those women that's like, oh, don't say that word. That's such an awful word.
It's so harsh.
She's like, it's really funny to say actually.
She
Yeah, I like Chelsea's comment. Chelsea prefers dickhead. Well,
does.
She does.
Good on you, Chelsea.
We are excited to know your personal preference.
Yeah,
Alkai prefers dickhead as well,
I do.
and I prefer cunt most of the time.
Mhm.
You know, every time. Sometimes a dickhead does apply though. All right. Hey, look, we made a full episode. We had
did.
content. We had content even.
Mhm.
No,
Did you see Chelsea?
yeah. Don't try and backtrack now. It's too late.
Too
We're not
late.
We're not even going to read that because we're just going to let it sit as Chelsea likes dickhead.
Yeah.
It's all right. We're not here to judge, only
Nope.
to make fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So next week, we'll have some other fun stuff. Chelsea did bring something to mind for white lights, red lights, so that I'll use that next week.
Love that.
I just thought about this one, and I've been kind of stewing on it for a week, so I didn't want to lose track of it.
Yep.
I wanted to keep it. I wanted to keep all those things in my mind
Mhm.
and coming out of your mouth, as you said. All right, so everyone, make sure. Anyone listening, watching, make sure you go to generalleathercraft.com. Check out our friends at Pioneer Lifting Belts. Also, maxbarbell.com for singlets, shoes, and other lifting paraphernalia. Follow the show at lifting_ugly, or you can search lifting ugly on most social media platforms.
Yup.
Follow Alkai here at bellies_out_benching. Go to liftingugly.com, where you can find Lifting Ugly gear,
Spend your
the
money.
hat Alkai is wearing, the shirt I'm wearing. I'm also wearing the hat, but you cannot see the front. The shorts he is wearing, the flag that is on the wall behind him, all those things, as well as you can get online coaching and pay for it through there. You can do all those fun and fanciful things, and you can get the new addition to the store, which is gonna bring it back up here, our Only Pins shirt that will be showing up on the screen here hopefully in a second. It's not as on demand as I was hoping it would be. So make sure you check out our new Only Pins
Oh yeah.
shirt on the website as well. Patreon.com/liftingugly. If you want to be a monthly supporter, you can check out the different tiers we have available there. Alkai, it's been a blast.
It's been an absolute pleasure
to hang out with you this
Mhm.
Sunday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll see you next week. Have
See
a
you
good
later,
week,
you
everyone.
cunt
All right, retard.
Ah!
Yeah.